Well, hey there. Some of you have been requesting a behind the scenes video for my trigger trails, and so here I am trying to deliver, and as you can see I am pouring out all my very well organized triggers onto the bed. And now I have more neatly put them on my workbench because I need to make some new triggers with my trusty glue gun, which is actually made up of a few different broken glue guns. I don't know why they keep breaking. Please help. The preparation for this video is a bit different this time because I have changed my setup. I've got to put Velcro on the back of everything because I used to pin it straight to the boards before, but it was a pain in the bum having to unpin triggers and move them around just to decide my layout. Now with the Velcro, I can just be like pew 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 and just move things around like it's nothing. Some of the triggers I use are just things from around the house, like this soap dispenser. It had like a cool embossed writing on it. But I would say 90% of my triggers are thrifted. I go to op shops regularly to the point that maybe you could call it a problem. I don't know, but it is my happy place and I love shopping for triggers. I find it really hard to just think of triggers off the top of my head, so walking into an op shop with lots of random miscellaneous things is a great source of inspiration. It's also more cost effective and I have less guilt about destroying items for the use of a trigger. Like that wood you can see there, that was a photo frame. I cut up a shell necklace just before. There you can see some beeswax wraps. I'm just making them more strippy. I've cut up a lot of handbags actually, they just offer so many different textures. I like to tell myself that no one was going to buy them anyway because they are pretty outdated. I had a comment once talking about how wasteful it is, like all these triggers, and I get it, like so much of it is plastic and they probably didn't know it was secondhand. But even for ASMR artists who are buying this stuff firsthand for their content, like I have no shade. Now that I am one, not everyone has the time that I have to go out and find these things. And if you want something more specific, it's going to be hard to find it secondhand. And some people's channels rely on really specific items that viewers know that they enjoy. For the video I'm preparing for here, I decided to use Halloween claws, but they didn't exactly fit, so I just put some glue inside to make them more snug. Really not a fan of the gluing process because I have to stop every 5 seconds and wait for the glue to heat up some more. I then have to keep switching between tasks, which is actually so bad for your brain. Moving on, here is my wardrobe where the magic happens. I've removed a lot of stuff I don't want to be seen, including clothes, and the rest will be covered by the boards I'm about to put up. These will be the walls of my trigger trail. They attach to clips on fishing line. I have some stuff from my previous video I need to rip off. The boards are just acoustic pinboard, so they absorb quite a bit of sound, which definitely helps because when I was first making these videos it was out in the open and there was a lot of unpleasant reverberation. These random strips I'm pulling off are just cut up acoustic board. I used them in my cosmetic trigger trail video just to create some space between the product and the wall just so I could get my hands around them. So if you enjoy the cosmetic sections of my trigger trails, you should check out that video because it is just all that, the whole video. Anyway, I am no builder, so I've just been winging it with constructing this booth, as you will. I bought a drill, it makes me feel more legit. Now that those are up, I've got my triggers all laid out and ready to go right near my wardrobe. Before I start putting them up, I just want to test different tools and see how they sound on different surfaces, and then that can inform how I lay out my trail. This was me starting to assemble the trail, but I didn't realise that you couldn't actually see the first few rows of the triggers. See how much easier it is just moving things around with Velcro? There's a better view. It probably doesn't seem like it, but this is actually like a couple hours in at this point. I spent so much time thinking about the layout, and there's just a lot of logistical problems that come up. I have to consider hand position. I can't have my hand cramped and awkward. If there's a trigger that sticks out, it restricts what I can put underneath it. I think ultimately I've grown out of this space, but I don't really know how to expand at this point. It would be really cool if I could just have a booth in my living area outside of this wardrobe that just stays there permanently. That would just be so much easier for setup as well, but yeah, not right now. I do try my best to get in the triggers that you like, so when you leave timestamps in the comments section, that really helps me to know your favourites. Now I've gotten up to the cosmetic part of the trail. I'm gluing down the products to make them nice and secure because I pretty much just go full ham on them. I've put some acoustic board between the wood and the products themselves just to absorb some of the sound when I push down. It's interesting how a sound will actually travel through anything that's connected. So now I'm up to dealing with corners. For some reason I like to put dangly things in them. You can see here I'm really trying to make this crocodile work. And can we please take a moment to appreciate my foot skills? Finishing up with my dangly triggers, and then I just go around securing the triggers and the Velcro. After all this, I am so exhausted, especially my brain. It does not usually get challenged like that. For the finishing touches, I slide in these boxes to catch the tools when I'm done with them during the trail. Have a sweep, and we can call this trail done. Now that I'm ready to film, I put these beauties on. They are a bit tattered, but they're quiet and don't make sound when I move across the floor. I chuck on some press-ons. I tried painting my own this time. And now I can film. Now I can hide the boards away, and because I have no empathy for my future self, I just leave the triggers still attached. I could end it there, but I like to go in and edit the audio after. I just want to remove any harsh sounds that might negatively impact the listening experience. One of these scenarios is when frequencies are too intense. I need to go in and attenuate them. Another example is putting compression on the audio. It's just creating a limit on how loud the audio can get so you don't get any nasty loud bits. And despite having rubber ducky slippers, I still have to go through and remove lots of creaking sounds from the floor just from my weight pressing down. I can get cheeky with this and isolate the sound and then replace it with a bit of nearby silence. In the next situation, it gets a bit more tricky when I can't just replace it with silence. I need to find a similar waveform without a creak. In this video, I noticed the chalk was making this yucky sound, so I wanted to get rid of that using the same technique. Love how well that works. So because I did that, maybe you can overlook the bad handwriting. In some cases, I replace all the audio of a trigger because it wasn't up to standard for me. I pretty much know during filming when a trigger doesn't sound good enough, so I'll go in after and record again, and then I'll just pinch that audio. I'm lining it up with the waveforms of the old audio, and then I can get real sneaky and I can actually stretch the length of the audio so it lines up a bit better. I'm just tidying that up, and the section that gets grayed out is the old sound, and what you're about to hear is the new sound. So there we have it. I was surprised that anyone would be interested in seeing behind the scenes of making a trigger trail, but here we are. It's really cool that you asked for that. I've enjoyed making the video, and it's nice to share what I do because I do put a lot of love into it. I know none of you are asking me to go to this extent, but I do have issues with perfectionism, and using ASMR, especially lo-fi ASMR, has actually helped me train myself out of it slowly. Like, I chip away at it every time. Like, if you hear, imperfections in my videos, just know that they're intentional. I have made a conscious effort to leave it there, and I've sat in the uncomfortable feeling afterwards. If any of you are perfectionists too, just shout out in the comments and then we can have a whinge about it together. I'd love that. Alright, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you around. Bye.